Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadguru Charanaravindaabhyam Namaha. Brahma Sutras, Chapter 4, Pada 3. Archiradhyatikaranam Archiradhina Tad Pratitehe. Archiradhina Tad Pratitehe. First Sutra, third Pada, fourth chapter, 518th running Brahma Sutra. We were seeing this sutra in the last class. And in this sutra, Vyasacharya says, there is only Shukla Gati mentioned in the Shastra with several intermediary stages. We were discussing all this in the last class. I'm just only bringing that thing to refresh ourselves. So this Shukla Gati with several intermediary stages are already well known in Chandogya Upanishad. In the 5th chapter, 10th section, first mantra, we already use it in the Panchagni Vidya portion. And at the end of the Shukla Gati, where most of the stages, they are all connected in that particular mantra we saw. And the stages mentioned there is flame is the first stage, Agni, and then the day, that is the second stage, the Paksha, that is the third stage, Uttarayanam, fourth stage, Samvatsaram, fifth stage, Aditya, sixth stage, all those we saw. And the mantra itself is Sadhya Ittam Viduhu Ye Chemeranye Shraddha Tapaha Ityupaste Te Archisham Abhisambhavanti Archishaha Ahaha Hanha Apuryamana Paksham Apuryamana Pakshat Yan Shadudangeti Masam Sthan. So this Shukla Gati is known as well-known Shukla Marga. Vyasacharya uses the word Prathitehe. Since the full Shukla Gati is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad mantra, in that Shukla Gati, the first station mentioned is Archihi. This is Archiradhikaranam, Archihi. The route is called Archiradhi Marga. And the reason is presented as the first stage in the important Chandogya mantra. It's Archiradhi Marga. Therefore, Vyasacharya says there is only one Shukla Gati is there. And any other mantra mentioning any other thing should not be taken as main Marga. That is Vyasacharya's argument. And there is no other route is the conclusion. To go to Brahmaloka, Shukla Gati is the only route. And now let us see the word analysis. Up to this we have seen. Archiradhina Tat Prathitehe. Archira refers to all the upasakas travel by one Shukla Gati only. Tat Prathitehe, we say so because this is known from the Shruti statement that we just read. Now the significance of the words, let us see. Archiradhina is a technical word for Shukla Gati. Shukla Gati, this is another word. It means the route beginning with the first station called Archihi. This is one only, there's only one such route. The Upasaka travels through that route. Tat Prathitehe, the one Archiradhi Marga, connects all the stations that is well known from the Shruti. Tat Prathitehe. So this connects all the intermediary stations. Before one goes to Brahmaloka, all the intermediary stations, they are all connected by this manner. Now let us see the other arguments given by Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, he gives an argument. When all upasakas have one and the same destination, it is better to have one marga than many margas. That is by logic also. If all roads lead to Rome, that is what we normally say. When the same destination is there, it is better that the marga is only one marga than many margas. Suppose a person argues, what is wrong when I assume many margas? Shankaracharya says that there is a Shastric rule. That is the rule like that. When you assume a thing, simple assumption is better than complex one. You can touch your nose directly or all the way around your head also. But the simplest route is what the Shastra will prescribe always, without any complexity. This is by nature. There is even a principle in quantum mechanics, Mapati's principle of least action. So when there is possibility of one and many, we have to choose one for simplicity. If you choose it, it is called Gaurava Dosha. If somebody does that. So if the Veda has mentioned many margas, because it is Pramana Siddham, it is all said there. But when Veda has mentioned only one marga, why should we assume many? That is the question. So then that is one argument of Shankaracharya. And another argument Shankaracharya gives is, when various Veda Vakyas, when they refer to various connections, we find that all of them are included in the main Chandogya Vakya. All stages and stations are mentioned. They don't mention separate path, but refer to any one of them mentioned in the Mukhya Shruti. Here Chandogya Shruti, the mantra that we just read. So other Vakyams refer to one of the destinations to remind main Shukla Gati only. Even though other margas are mentioned, it is mentioned only to refer to the remind to the main Shukla Gati. So all the three Vakyas we saw in the introduction in the last class, and they refer to different intermediary stations connected to one destination, Brahmaloka. Then Shankaracharya gives the third argument also, which is based on Chandogya Upanishad. Then in the concluding mantra, Chandogya Upanishad says, if a person does not go through Shuklagati to Brahmaloka or Krishnagati, Swargaloka, Swargadilokas, then he will have Adogati. Adogati means all lower stages. And the Chandogya Upanishad mantra in the 5th chapter, 10th section, 8th mantra, Atai Tayoho Patoho na Katarena cha na Tani Imani Krudrani Asakrit Avartini Bhutani Bhavanti Jayasva Mriyasva Ityetatim Tritiyagam Sthanam. Tritiyagam Sthanam refers to this Adogati. Tena asavlokaha na sampuryate tasmat jugupseta tadesha shlokaha. This Chandogya gives this mantra. Therefore, let a person seek to guard oneself. Otherwise, he will end up going through Adogati. To this end, there is this particular shloka which says Adogati is the third path. And Adogati can be called the third only. There also we have to be logically, we should establish it can be only third. It cannot be anything else. When there are two separate gatis before, as Shukla Gati and Krishna Gati, Adogati can be only logically the third gati. And many Krishna Gati and many Shukla Gati, then Adogati cannot be there. Because there is only one Shukla Gati and one Krishna Gati, then only Adogati can be the third. So the very fact Chandogya says Adogati is third, which means there is only one Shukla Gati and one Krishna Gati. Because Tritiyagam Sthanam, this is the third Gati. So if it has to be third, the other two has to be one each only. That is another argument Shankaracharya gives. So the very fact Chandogya Upanishad says Adogati is third, that means there is only one Shukla Gati and one Krishna Gati. It uses different words in different contexts. That's why we should be able to carefully watch and understand. Now let us go to the next sutra. Second adhikaranam of this pada, Vayvedikaranam, Vayum abdat avishesha visheshabhyam. Vayum abdat avishesha visheshabhyam. Second sutra, third pada, fourth chapter, 519th running Brahma Sutra. Now let us see a general introduction to this adhikaranam. This adhikaranam is also a small adhikaranam with only one sutra. And the subject matter is the details of various stages of travel. Before going to Brahmaloka, we said all those stages are there. It gives the details of all those stages. And we study the route map of Shuklagati. That's what we are doing now. We will see the order of various stations. A person, when he goes by Shuklagati, what are the various stations? Like the Grand Trunk Express goes through so many stations. Even though Chandogya Upanishad mantra mentions most of the stages or stations of Shuklagati, it does not mention all the stages. Even though it says most of them, it does not mention all the stages. Some of them are left out, and they are mentioned in other Shruti Vakyams. That is why our study can never be completed by just only reading only one Upanishad. So we have to take those stations and combine them and form a full root. And when you are borrowing stages from other Shruti Vakyas to main Chandogya Upanishad Vakyam, then 6 stations are mentioned. And some more are mentioned in other Upanishads also. And where to insert all these is our problem. You got new stations, and you cannot be just appending them to each other. So we should find out the order in which they should be placed. So we are going to take some Shruti Vakyams here as to how to insert the extra stations in the Mukhya Shruti Vakyam from Chandogya. We will analyze 3 Vakyams today. Each will talk about various stations. First one is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 5th chapter, 10th section, and 1st shloka. There most of the stations are mentioned. I will read the shloka. Flame, daytime, Shukla Paksham, Uttarayanam, Samvatsaram, Adityaloka, all those things are all mentioned there. And then another quotation is given from Kaushitaki Upanishad. This is also familiar to us. We have quoted this Upanishad many times earlier. And the relevant portion of the mantra is 1.3, first section, 3rd mantra. And that mantra is a big mantra also. Saha yetam devayanam pantanam asadhya agnilokam agacchati saha vayulokam saha varunalokam saha adityaloham saha indralokam saha prajapatilokam saha brahmalokam tasyaha va etasya brahmalokasya rohrito muhurta yeshtika viraja nadi Tilyo Vrikshaha, all those things, they are all on the way. All this Viraja Nadi and all those things, they are all on the way. Tilyo Vrikshaha, Saijyam Samsthanam, Aparajitam, Ayatanam, Indra Prajapati Dwara, Gopav, Vibhum, Pramitam, Vichakshana, Sandhyamitojaha. So the mantra still continues. I just only put only one vacuum, which is of interest to us. It mentions all the lokas: Agni Loka, Vayu Loka, Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, Prajapati Loka, Brahma Loka. So that is order. So Brahma Loka is the end. On the way, he goes through all these various places. And 2 more also one can add. They are the 7th one is Chandra Loka, and the 8th one is Vidyut Loka, the lightning Loka. Now we have to couple these two and also whatever we said earlier. So of them, the Agni Loka need not be added to the previous one because the word flame is already mentioned and the flame is nothing but Agni. So we don't have to add it a new one. It is called Archihi. We already said Archihi means flame. Archiradi means Archi and all others. It is only one station with 2 different names. Archihi is one name, Agni is another. And the next one is Vayu Loka. Now the question is where to insert Vayu Loka in this list. Because Vayu Loka is not mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. Then Purva Pakshi, he gives a suggestion. He says, since the Kaushitaki Upanishad, Vayu is mentioned after Agni, in Chandogya also, after Archi, insert Vayu. Because Agni is there in Kaushitaki. In Chandogya, it's, the Agni is also here. Now it's referred here as Archi. Insert Vayu Loka, and thereafter day and all that things. Day, Uttarayanam and all that things you will insert later. They can be added. But by doing that, there is a problem. Why the problem arises? Because of another Shruti Vakyam from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 5th chapter, 10th section. And this mantra talks about the Upasaka going to Vayuloka, and from there he goes to Adityaloka. This mantra says he goes to Vayuloka and then goes to Adityaloka. Yada vai Purushaha asmal lokat praiti saha Vayum agacchati. Tasmai saha tatra vijihite yata ratachakrasya kham tena saha urdvam akramate. Sa adityam agacchati tasmai saha tatra vijihite yata lambarasya kham, and all that thing is another big mantra. So he goes to Vayu Devata, where he prepares the chariots for further travels. He goes to Vayu Devata and he is preparing a chariot for going to further travels. And through that only Upasaka travels and reaches Aditya Loka. So Vayu Loka comes before Aditya, because if he if ultimately he reaches Aditya Loka, Vayu Loka should come before that. Therefore, going back to the main mantra of Chandogya, Vayu Loka, according to this mantra, should precede the Aditya Loka. Therefore, we cannot be add Vayu before Aditya. Whether it should come after Archi, the Agni or flame, or 6 stations before Aditya Loka, that is the question. And this is the controversy in this particular mantra. It is not after Archi or flame, but it is before Aditya. Then Kaushitaki Upanishad mantra says 6 are mentioned: Agni Loka, Vayu Loka, Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, Prajapati Loka, and finally Brahma Loka. 6 are mentioned in Kaushitaki. So the last is not a stage, because Brahma Loka is not a stage, it is the destination. So we cannot say 6 stages, 5 stages, and the destination is Brahma Loka. So 6 are mentioned. Last is not yet, last is a destination, not the stage. So 8 lokas are mentioned in Chandogya and 5 in Kaushitaki. So 13 stations we have to properly arrange to understand the stages through which this Upasaka will travel to go to Brahmaloka. So in Kaushitaki, all are, we cannot even understand any of these things. They are just mentioned in the Upanishad. We have to just only in the sutras, we have to just only listen to them. That's it. In Kaushitaki Upanishad, the first one is Agni Loka. And Agni Loka need not be added because Archi and Agni are synonymous, I already mentioned. So the next one is Vayu Loka. And what we should do with Vayu Loka? Where to insert the Vayu Loka in that list? So in Chandogya Mantra, list of 8 stages, where to accommodate Vayu Loka is the question. And in Kaushitaki, Vayu comes after Agni. It can be accommodated. Vayu can be added after Agni. But another person says, I cannot accept that. Because in Brihadaranyaka, there is another mantra referring to 2 stages of Shuklagati. Yada vai Purushaha asmal lokat praiti sa Vayu magachati. That mantra we just read. It says the Upasaka goes to Vayu, and from there he goes to Aditya Loka. So he goes to Vayu Devata, where he prepares the chariot for further travel, and through that only Upasaka travels and reaches Aditya Mandala. So Vayu Loka comes before Aditya. Therefore, going back to the main mantra again, Vayu Loka, according to this mantra, Vayu should precede Aditya Loka. Therefore, we cannot be add Vayu before Aditya is the question of another Purvapakshi. And here it is said Upasaka on his journey will get to Vayu Loka, and Vayu Devata will open the gates. And through that he goes further up and goes to Aditya Loka. Imagine some gate is there, Vayu Devata opens it and all that. So from the Shruti statement, what we come to know? Vayu Loka is just before Aditya Loka because it is said in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So therefore we know Vayu should precede Aditya. And from Kaushitaki we know Vayu Loka should follow Agni Loka. And so the insertion of Vayu Loka should be between 1 and 2. So if you go by Brihadaranyaka, Vayu Loka must come before Aditya. And among the 8 stages of Chandogya, Aditya, and it should be between 5 and 6. The numbers we already read all of them. So the controversy is whether Vayu Loka is between 1 and 2 or between 5 and 6. We say Brihadaranyaka says, it only, Siddhanta says, Brihadaranyaka wins. And Kaushitaki cannot be accepted with respect to the order. And Brihadaranyaka should be only accepted. That is, Vayu should be inserted between 5 and 6. So after Samvatsara, Vayu Loka will come. So the total list will be the 9 stations instead of 8. This is the conclusion of this Adhikaram. There are 9 stages one has to go through. Now I will give you the general analysis of this sutra. And Vyasacharya says, Vayu Loka is in between 5 and 6. He chooses the second option and it should come after Samvatsara. I read all these various stages in the beginning. And instead of this, you may not remember, doesn't matter, but at least you understand that these stages are there. So instead of this, he says Abdaha, a new thing he brings. Now the question is, why did you choose Brihadaranyaka Upanishad order rather than Kaushitaki order? And the answer given is what? Vyasacharya says, in Kaushitaki Upanishad, various stages are enumerated, but the Upanishad does not specifically say that the stages are in this order. It mentions, it enumerates the stages, but it does not say it is in that order. It means that this may be the order or this may not be the correct order. The list does not mean this is the order. Therefore, a mere list doesn't prove its order. It may be in that order or need not be in that order. In Kaushitaki, it is said that this is the order of travel by the Upasaka. Therefore, Vyasacharya uses the word Avisheshaha. In the sutra, he uses the word Avisheshaha in the sutra. It is the general list without specifying the order. Whereas in Brihadaranyaka, there is specific mention of the order. Therefore, the krama, for a person to go to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad krama, the order should be taken, which is definite, and Kaushitaki order is not specific. Therefore, Vayuloka must necessarily precede Aditya Loka. Vayum abdat avishesha visheshabhyam. That is the sutra. Vayum abdat avishesha visheshabhyam. Upasaka reaches Vayulokam after Samvatsaram. Samvatsara Loka. So, avishesha visheshabhyam. This is known from the general and specific scriptural statements. Visheshabhyam and avisheshabhyam. So, the significance of the words is that Vayum refers to the Upasaka. He reaches Vayuloka. Abdad, only after Samvatsara Loka. Here Abdad refers to Samvatsara Loka. Avisheshaha refers to general Shruti statement. Kaushitaki Upanishad, first section, first chapter, third section, third mantra. Vishesha means specific argument. Specific argument as given in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 5th chapter, 10th section. And Shankaracharya actually he adds one more topic also in his commentary. There is another Brihadaranyaka Upanishad statement which is in the 6th chapter of Brihadaranyaka, the second section, 15th mantra, which also talks about various stages of Shuklagati. We saw various stages given in Chandogya. In Brihadaranyaka also there are, all these things are mentioned. Teya eva metat vidhurihe chami aranye shraddhagum satyam upasate te archir abhisambhavanti archishaha aho anna apuryamana paksham pakshat all the shanmasan. So udangadityaha yeti adhyesi yeti masebhyaha devalokam devalokadadityam adityatvaitutam tan vaidyutat purushaha manasa etya brahmalokan gamayati te teshu brahmalokeshu paravate vasanti tesham na punaravritti. So there is another shloka, a long shloka. So it is similar to the previous one that we read from Chandogya. Therefore, like Chandogya, in Brihadaranyaka also all these stages are mentioned. So, but if you read Brihadaranyaka, we find a problem. Here, in place of Samvatsara, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad talks about Devaloka. There is no Samvatsara. Instead of that, it talks about Devaloka in Brihadaranyaka. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Devaloka also must be inserted in the list. So, you add one more. So, where to insert the Devaloka? Before Samvatsara or after Samvatsara? He says Devaloka should be added after Samvatsara, but before Vayuloka. Now the question is, why Shankaracharya prefers Devaloka after Samvatsara? He says, if you look at the previous stages, before Samvatsara, Samvatsara means the 12 months, 1 year. They refer to Kala Tattvam. It talks of Kala Tattvam, the time principle. So Samvatsara is also Kala Tattvam only. So it should be added in the same order, which are all in the Kala Tattva. Now we have an expanded list of now 10 stations now. We have added Devaloka and Vayuloka now. So what is the order now? Agni, day, Shukla Paksham, Uttarayanam, Samvatsaram, Devaloka, Vayuloka, Aditya Loka, Chandra Loka, and Vidyut Loka. Vidyut means lightning. Then 3 more are to be added. We will see next. Third Adhikaranam, Taditodhi Varunaha Sambandhat. Taditodhi Varunaha Sambandhat. The third sutra, third chapter, fourth chapter, third pada. 520th running Brahma Sutra. The enumeration of the stations, the various stages of the journey is continued here in this sutra also. In Kaushitaki Upanishad, Some more stations are said, which are to be added also. Agni Loka is taken care of. We already went through the discussion on Agni Loka. Vayu Loka is again taken care of. It is the 7th place. Brahma Loka is not a stage and it is the destination. That also we mentioned already, because they are all going to Brahma Loka only. And Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, Prajapati Loka are to be added appropriately. That also we did. So in this Adhikaranam, mainly we take Varuna Loka and to find out where it should be inserted in that list. So the subject matter, these are all various stations. So I should know the route map. If I have to go to, by Krama Mukti, if I have to go to Brahma Loka, I should know the route map. So that's why we have to know which Loka I'm going to go next. So the subject matter is where to accommodate Varuna Loka. This is the question. And in this Adhikaranam, Vyasacharya says, Varuna Loka must come after Vidyut Loka, lightning Loka. This 11th stage. And the greatest relief is what here? We need not insert it anywhere else. Varuna and lightning are close. So Varuna Loka is light, the waters and the rains and all, and lightning, they are connected, they are close, and hence they are both being close, thunder and rain can come together. And hence both can be side by side. This is the essence of this Adhikaram. Now let us do the general analysis of this sutra. Vyasacharya says, Varuna Loka is after Vidyut Loka because of close relationship between the lightning and rain. And we assume that Varuna is Adhipati Devata of rain. For rain, the presiding deity is Varuna Devata. Now let us do the word analysis of this sutra. Taditodi Varunaha Sambandhat. Taditaha Adi Varunaha Sambandhat. Varunaha or Varuna Loka comes Adi Taditaha after Vidyut Loka. After the world of lightning, Sambandhat, because of their close relationship. Now let us see the significance of these words. Adi means after here. Taditaha means lightning. Lightning is another word for Vidyut. This Taditaha. Varuna means a stage of Varuna Loka that comes. Sambandhat refers to the close relationship. With this we have now 11 stages. We have Indra Loka and Prajapati Loka. We already mentioned all that. And Vyasacharya does not separately deal with that. Therefore, Shankaracharya in his commentary, he adds this portion. He says, on analysis, we don't see any specific reasons to insert them in between. It is difficult also. We have to insert if we have any logical or Shruti Pramanam issue. On analysis, there is no Shruti Pramanam necessitating their insertion in between. So now there are any logical pramanam also necessitating that insertion. So when that insertion in the middle is not compulsorily required, put them in the end. That is easiest. They are placed as 12th and 13th stations now. We have got the final order now. What is the final order now? Flame is number 1. Flame or chihi, whatever it is. Then the day, Shukla Paksham, Uttarayanam, Samvatsaram, Devaloka, Vayu Loka, Aditya Loka, Chandra Loka, Vidyut Loka, Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, Prajapati Loka, and final destination, Brahma Loka. So a person has to go through all these various lokas before he would reach Brahma Loka, various stations. Thus all the stations have been covered and they are all placed in this order also. That was the exercise that this sutra, they enabled us to go through that entire number. Then Ativahikadikaranam, it's the next Adhikaranam. Ativahikadikaranam, 4th Adhikaranam. Adivahikaha Tallingat. Ativahikaha Tallingat. 4th Sutra, 3rd Pada, 4th chapter, 521st running Brahma Sutra. So the description of the path of the gods is continued, Devatas. That is continued. Now let us see a general introduction to this Adhikaranam. This is the 4th Adhikaranam, slightly bigger Adhikaranam with 3 sutras. The previous Adhikaranams had all maybe only one sutra. This has 3 sutras. And the subject matter of this Adhikaranam is to explain, to find out what are the components of the 13 stations with ultimate destination of Brahmaloka. So before going to Brahmaloka, one has to go through all these 13 stations, like train stations. And we will establish that the 13 stations are the names of the devatas. That is important now. It is not a place, name of a devata, each of these stations. And the Purvapakshi gives different suggestions. Purvapakshi, as usual, says, whenever route map is given, we may give the stations that one has to cross over to reach the destination. Because in any route map, that's what you have. They are called the landmarks. When you go from somewhere, right, you say, I cross this place, that place. This one is a landmark. Therefore, the Purvapakshi, he suggests, why cannot you take the 13 stations as the landmarks cast by the Upasaka? He crosses each landmark when he is advancing towards Brahmaloka. So this suggestion is based on Laukika Nyaya, practically. Our Pratyaksha experience, we see that. We cross when you drive somewhere or walk somewhere, you cross some landmark. So the second Purvapakshi now says, when we read the 13 items, which includes the 5 lokas indicated in the Kaushitaki Upanishad, and the loka refers to fields of experience. They are all Bhoga Bhumi. Each loka, he says, they represent the fields of experience. A field of experience is called Bhoga Bhumi, as I said. So therefore, the second Purvapakshi, he suggests intermediary fields of experience, and Upasaka experiences pleasures and pains as even they go. As even they advance towards Brahmaloka, they experience pleasures and pain in various areas, various places on the way. So the Vyasacharya says both of them are not true. And they are neither names of places nor names of various Bhoga Bhumi, but they represent names of Devatas. So Vayu Loka means Vayu Devata. Uttarayana means Uttarayana Devata. For every Kala, everything, there is a Adi Devata. And all 13 are Chetana Devatas. They are all not just inert lokas. They are Chetana Devatas. And that is going to be the topic of this Adhikaram. Chetana Devatas. Now, let us come to the general analysis of this sutra. Here, Vyasacharya says, the 13 lokas refers to Ativahika Devatas. Literally, Ativahika means a transporter, a person who takes you from place A to place B. So, a transporter Devata. We can, Shafar is also a transporter Devata, who carries the Upasaka Jiva from one place to another. So, they are transporter Devatas, and that too, it is not any Devata, but specific Devata appointed by Ishvara himself. That is the 13 Devatas which Vyasacharya says. And the question comes as to why it can't be taken as landmarks. Why should you take it as Devatas? You can take it as landmark itself. That seems to be more comfortable to me. Vyasacharya, he does not refute, but he leaves it to our imagination. If it is not to be taken as, if it is to be taken as landmark, then it should be a place. If you want to take it as a landmark, it should be a place. The moving car cannot be a landmark. Sthiravastu alone can serve as a landmark. An unmoving object only can be a landmark. And Shankaracharya argues, Shukla Paksha, Uttarayanam, they are not permanently available. They are not Desha, but Kala. Desha is space. Kala, space can be in one place, but Kala, it's going on changing. Day, Shukla Paksham, they are all Kalas, Kalam, time. So if they are landmarks, then they will not be available for people who die in Krishna Paksha. So Kala Tattvam cannot be a landmark because it is not a land. Therefore, first one is ruled out. Then you cannot also wait because instantaneously travel starts. That's what we said. After a person dies, the travel starts instantaneously. One cannot wait. Let me wait to get Shukla Paksham. No. For Bhishmacharya it was. So therefore they cannot be Marga Chinnam. And second Purvapakshi, he suggested, why cannot it be taken as Bhoga Bhumi, a place where you experience all your pleasures and pains? Why cannot it be taken as various fields of experience? Shankaracharya says, That is also not possible. Why? Because Upasaka had withdrawn the physical body and the Golakam. Golakam is gross body, Indriyam is subtle body, you know all that. So he has already withdrawn the physical body and the Golakams. That is, Upasaka has got only folded Indriyas when he departs from the Shariram. Not functioning Indriyas, they are all. They are not functioning, they have been rolled out into a ball, as it were. So in sleep, when organs are folded, we cannot experience any bhoga. In sleep, when all organs are folded, you cannot experience any bhoga. A person in coma also cannot experience anything. So throughout the travel, he won't even know when he crosses which station. It is all our description. He doesn't know. So where is the question of crossing the fields of experience? So Vayu Lokam cannot be taken as Vayu Bhumi. We have refuted the landmark possibility already. So you cannot call it fields of experience also. So when we are not able to experience, Vyasacharya says, Upanishad gives a clue. And it is from that clue we have to arrive at the answer. And that clue is called Lingam, a symbol. And it indicates that they are Devatas only. Because of the symbol the Upanishad gives, it is all concluded as they are all Devatas and not Lokas, or fields of experience. Now the question is, what is that blessed clue? And Shankaracharya and Vyasacharya, they say that very same Archiradi is enumerated elsewhere in Chandogya Upanishad. The same Archiradi we are talking now. It is already enumerated elsewhere in Chandogya, 4th chapter, 15th section, 5th mantra. And at the end, the Upanishad makes a statement. Atayetu chayvaspin chavyam kurvanti yedi chana archishameva abhisambhavanti archishaha aha anna apuryamana pakshat. So all that thing we read, and the important sentence there is tat purushaha amanavaha saha yenan brahma gamayati. There is one statement. Aditya chandramasam chandramasaha vidyutam. It says all that, and then says tat purushaha amanavaha saha yenan brahma gamayati. It's an important sentence. This means when the Upasaka has come to the state of Vidyut, the Vidyut Loka, Vidyutam. So Aditya Chandramasam Chandramasaha Vidyutam. He has come to Vidyut Loka. Tat Purushaha Amanavaha Saha Yenan Brahma Gamayati. So that person, after he comes to the Vidyut Loka, in that place, a special Purusha appointed by Hiranyagarbha comes to Vidyut Loka to take him. So he has gone all the way up to Vidyut Loka. Then from there to go further, Brahmaji created a person, Hiranyagarbha created a person, and he came there to pick him up. And that special Devata is called Amanava Purusha. Amanava means extraordinary Purusha. At that moment, instantaneously created by Brahmaji. With the Sankalpa, and Brihadaranya Upanishad called this Purusha Manasa Purusha. So this one here, it is called Amanava Purusha in Chandogya. Brihadaranya calls it Manasa Purusha, created by Brahmaji. Manasa Putras. So he transports that Manasa Purusha, Amanava Purusha, he transports these Upasaka Jivas, and thus Upanishad indicates Upasaka Jivas cannot go by themselves, but to be carried by a Chetana Tattvam introduced. So by introducing a Chetana Tattvam only can carry this person to Brahmaloka. Then naturally the question will be, if Amanava Purusha takes care of the travel from Vidyut Loka up to Brahmaloka, who is the one takes care of the travel up to Vidyut Loka after death? Okay, you now created Amanava Purusha to take him from Vidyut Loka up to Brahmaloka. So who brings this person up to Vidyut Loka? That is the question. So we require there also a Chetana Tattvam, the carrying principle. The transporting one should be Chetana Tattvam, and therefore we should conclude that the Archiradi must be Chetana Purushas only, or Chetana Devatas. The conclusion, why they are considered devatas? Because it should be a Chetana Tattvam. Amanava Purusha will carry from Vidyut Loka. And all the way up to Vidyut Lokam, some Chetana Tattvam, Ashiradi should take the person. Now let us do the word analysis of this sutra. Ativahikaha tallingat. This lingam means, this is what I told you, the clue. Ativahikaha means the words like archihi. They reveal the transporting devatas. Not lokas or fields of experience, but transporting devatas. Tallingat. This is known from the clues which reveal this fact. And let us see the significance of these words. Ativahikaha, devatas specially appointed to take care of transportation. These are all transportation coordinators. And Archiradi, actual transportation. Not just coordinators, they transport. Archiradi, that refers to Adivahikas. Tallingat. Vahikas means like the vehicles. Vahanam. They are transporters. Tallingat, the indicatory mark. Because of the clue, Tat means revealing this fact. The clue kept in mind is what? We already saw. Chandogya Upanishad, 4th chapter, 15th section, 5th mantra, we already read. Tat Purushaha, Amanavaha, all that thing, we saw that particular sentence. And that is what is indicated here as the lingam, as the symbol, as the clue. Then we will go to the next sloka of this adhikaranam. Ubhaya vyamohat tat siddhehe. Ubhaya vyamohat tat siddhehe. 5th sutra, 3rd pada, 4th chapter, 522nd running Brahma Sutra. This sutra is an argument in support of the previous sutra, Sutra 4. Now let us do a general analysis of this sutra. Here, Vyasacharya answers a possible doubt that can be raised by the Purvapakshi. The Upanishad says that Amanava Purusha, it transports Upasaka Jiva from Vidyut Loka is the lightning Loka, to Brahma Loka. Then why do you extend that rule to the previous segment also? Maybe the Adivahika Deva is not necessary, and hence Adivahika Deva is not mentioned in the Upanishad for the first segment. You can extend the same thing there also. Further, Vyasacharya says, the extension is necessary because a Chetana Tattvam is required for directed travel, not just travel, directed travel. Suppose you switch on the engine of any vehicle, car, whatever it is. Achetana vehicle will run, but it will not be directed travel. If a deliberate movement is needed, Chetana Tattvam is required. Of course, these days we have got autopiloting cars are there, you can program them, but still you need a Chetana Tattvam to program them. So from death to Vidyut, or a person dies, and from that time the departure starts, and then all the way the Gati, the Marga, it takes the person to Vidyut Lokam. That is well-directed travel. And we need a Chetana Tattvam. It cannot be a random principle. A Chetana Tattvam should be there. Flame, Uttarayanam, they are not the guiding principles because they are all inert in nature. Flame is inert. Uttarayanam is a column, inert. They cannot be guiding principles. The Upasaka cannot also guide because the Upasaka is no more. Because Upasaka being, he is called Sampindita Karanaha. That means, as this the word Sankaracharya uses in his Bhashya, Sampindita Karanaha, as good as inert principle. And it is like one in coma, one can think of. So we need another Chetana Tattvam to direct this person. Since the path is unconscious, path is unconscious, and the Upasaka also is unconscious, we need a conscious guiding principle between death and Vidyut Loka. From Vidyut Loka, you got Amanava Purusha. So that Devata is directly mentioned here. Therefore, you have to take the Lakshya-artham of each word. Not only Vachyartham. Lakshya-artha here is what? Devata, which is Chetana Tattvam. Don't say Loka and fields of experience and all. It is a Devata. A Chetana Tattvam is required. Then comes the next question. Then why 13 of them are needed? No need. Since a very long route it is, in each station, separate Devata carries the Jiva up to the particular area and up to Vidyut Loka, and from there Amanava Devata takes up to Brahma Loka. So many stations. So the person who carries you also can get tired, or he may want to change. He has to be with this one guy for all the entire length. So 13 Devatas take the unconscious Upasaka up to Amanava Purusha. And the travel is now even known by the Upasaka, and the whole journey is based on the Karma Phala. Ultimately, everything boils down to the Karma Phala. So when the Golakas are ready, then the Devatas, Indriyams, and then the Indriya, they get activated. And then the person opens his eyes where? In Brahmaloka. And he attends the class to gain Atma Jnanam in Brahmaloka. There also he has to attend the class to gain Jnanam. So up to that place, this guy will be going just to only an inert, a person without any sensation or any of those things. And then after going to Brahmaloka, he opens his eyes. Vyamohaha means unconscious in nature. He will be unconscious all through. Ubhaya. Ubhaya means both the traveler and the path. The path by which one is traveling and also the traveler, both of them are going to be unconscious. He doesn't know where he is going. The path also, it is just a path that is there. It's a road. It's a road. Therefore, we require a conscious Devata. Now let us do the word analysis of this sutra. Ubhaya vyamohat tatsiddhehe. Tatsiddhehe means the clue that is reasonable since guidance of Devata is validated. We already validated why the Devatas are required. A Chetana Tattvam is required. So Ubhaya Vyamohat, because of the unconscious nature of both the path and the traveler, this is the word meaning for this. Now let us see the significance of these words. Tat Siddhehe, validation of the guidance of the Devatas. That is the guidance of the Devatas. Since this is validated, the clue mentioned in the previous Adhikaranam or previous Sutra is reasonable clue only. This is already validated. So that's validated clue. Now the next word is Ubhaya Vyamohat. Both that, Ubhaya means two. Both that refers to the path and traveler, and Vyamoha means unconscious nature. They both are unconscious. The traveler is also unconscious, the path also. In this context, nature. So, because of the inertia of both of them, guidance of Chetana Devata is validated, is required and it is validated. And because of that, the clue is also reasonable, Tallingat. That's a reasonable clue. Let us go to the next sutra. Vaidyutenaiva tataha tashrutehe. Sixth sutra, third pada, fourth chapter, 523rd running Brahma Sutra. Now let us do the brief general analysis of this sutra. Here Vyasacharya answers another possible doubt. It is said, Archiradi Devatas, we have been talking about, Archiradi Devatas will transport Upasakas up to Vidyut Loka, and from there, Amanava Purusha will transport him, and that is what is established so far, from Vidyut Loka to Brahma Loka. And if you see the list in the Archiradi Devatas, we have seen 13 Devatas, and Vidyut Loka comes as the 10th one, and after Vidyut Loka, 3 more are there, namely Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, and Prajapati Loka. We already went through all of them. And according to our learning, till now, you should not take the Lakshyartha. The Varuna Devata, Indra Devata, and Prajapati Devatas are also Ativahiga Devatas. They must be transporting Upasakas to Brahma Loka. They come after Vidyut Loka. So the 3 Devatas should be serving as transporting Devatas according to your teaching. But what you did, you say there is another Amanava Purusha is specially appointed to transport Upasaka to Brahma Loka. I hope you understand. For each Loka, you say it's the Devata, 13 Lokas is established, there should be only 13 Devatas. Why you brought another Amanava Purusha who is another Devata? So the doubt is what? From Vidyut Loka and Brahma Loka, who is the real transporter? That is the question. Amanava Purusha or all these other Devatas. Whether it is Amanava Purusha or the respective Devatas, Indra Devata, Prajapati Devata, Varuna Devata, are those the ones who are transporters. Which one we should take? This is a problem. And Vyasacharya says, Since both are Shruti Vakyams, both are said to the Shruti, we should accept both. So Varuna, etc. are also transporters, and Amanava Purusha also is a transporter. Then how can both be transporters? Vyasacharya says, Amanava Purusha is the lord of the group, he is the supervisor, and he is assisted by the three, Varuna, Indra and Prajapati. So they assisted the Amanava Purusha to take this person to Brahmaloka. Thus the Upasaka is taken to the Brahmaloka. Amanava Purusha is also called as Vaidyuta Purusha and also called Manasa Purusha. Therefore the Sutra says, Amanava Purusha is the prime transporter of the departed Upasaka's soul. Atma, Jiva. So the Upasaka is led further by the Amanava Purusha, assisted by other devatas like Varuna, Indra and Prajapati. After Vidyaloka, they are only assistants. So the Upasaka is taken to Brahmaloka is understood. And he says, Tat Shrutehe. It is based on the Shruti Pramana. Shruti Pramana kept in mind is what? Chandogya, 4th chapter, 15th section, 5th mantra, Tat Purushaha Amanavaha Saha Enan Brahma Gameti. There is the mantra we read. So Tat is part of the compound word. Tat, that fact. The Amanava Purusha leads Upasaka Jiva to Brahmaloka, that fact. So 14 devatas escort the Upasaka to Brahmaloka. To go to Brahmaloka itself, such a royal welcome. 14 devatas are taking this guy. Let us go to the next sutra. Karyam Badarihi Asya Gati Upapattehe. Karyam Badarihi Asya Gati Upapattehe. 7th sutra, 3rd pada, 4th chapter, 524th running Brahma Sutra. So here the discussion is taken up whether the Jiva is taken to Param Brahman or Sagunam Brahman. Brahmaloka, you say, whether it goes to Param Brahma or Sagunam Brahma. And in the previous sutra, the ways were discussed, the Marga, the Gati, how it was, how the person travels. Now we'll see a general introduction to this Adhikaranam with 8 sutras. This is a big Adhikaranam with 8 sutras. And the subject matter of this Adhikaranam also changes. Here we discuss the 3rd stage of Prapti. Stage after Prapti stage, after discussing Utkranti, Gati. Utkranti means departure. A person dies, the departure. Utkranti. Gati is the Marga, the way by which he goes. And Prapti is the destination ultimately he is going to reach. And here there is a controversy. And what is the controversy? On account of the doubt created by the Chandogya mantra. Tat Purushaha Amanavaha Saha Enan Brahma Gameti. That mantra. Saha Enan Brahma Gameti. That means Amanava Purusha who has come to Vidyat Loka takes the Upasaka Jiva to Brahma Loka. That is what that means. So the controversy is what? What is that Brahman? Amanavaha Enan Brahma Gamayati. When you say Brahma Gamayati, what is that Brahman? Whether it is Param Brahman or whether it is referring to Hiranyagarbha, the Karya Brahma. We already told Karana Brahma is Param Brahma, Karya Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. So Adhipati of Brahma Loka is Hiranyagarbha, Karya Brahma. This is the controversy. And Vyasacharya particularly does not give his own verdict here. He gives the opinions of 2 big Acharyas. One is Badari Acharya, given in Sutra 7 to 11. And then from 12 to 14, Jaimini Matam is also given. So he gives both. And the Badari Matam means the Karyam Brahma. Karyam Brahman is Sagunam Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, who is the finite Devata, who presides Brahmaloka, and the Upasaka goes to Brahmaloka. So this is what the Badari Matam says. Badari, Rishi Bharati, Badari, that's what he says. And Jaimini Matam says that the Upasaka goes to Param Brahma. And Jaimini is a Purva Mimamsaka, that we know, who does not accept gods and all. And as an Acharya, he doesn't accept God, but as a disciple of Vedavyasa, he gives his opinion here. Having described both the Matams, Vyasacharya does not give his opinion. So Shankaracharya gives his opinion that Badari Matam's opinion is only correct after giving an elaborate commentary. This is a very big commentary on this particular sloka, sutra. First three are Siddhanta Sutras in this particular Adhikaranam. And Siddhanta Sutras are and it ends with the Purvapakshi. And this is the general layout. or introduction of this Adhikaranam, I can say. Now let us do the general analysis of this sutra. Sage Badari says, Upasaka goes to Hiranyagarbha or Brahmaloka alone and not to Parambrahma. And he says Parambrahman cannot be reached by travel. That we all know, but he says explicitly. He is not a Gati Vishaya. Parambrahma is not a Gati Vishaya, means you're traveling stuff. Because travel is what? Is a place from which you are to a place where you are not. Brahman is there everywhere. So only Brahmaloka can be a destination, but not Brahma, Parambrahma. Therefore, Hiranyagarbha can be a destination. Destination status can be enjoyed only by Karyam Brahma. Here the word used is Karya Brahma only to indicate Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is the first product born out of Brahman. And Hiranyagarbha has another name also, Pratamaja. Actually, in Taittiriya Upanishad, we have said this. Ahamasmi Pratamajarata Sya. That Pratamaja. Purvam Devebhyo Amritasyana Bhahi Yoma Dadadi Sagidevama Vaha Ahamannamanna Madhantama Dhmi Aham Vishwam Bhuvanamabhya Bhavam Suvarna Jyoti Ihi. So Pratamaja, firstborn out of Brahman, Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, the destination can be only Karyam Brahman. Param Brahman cannot be the destination. Because Param Brahman is of the nature of traveler himself. So I am Brahman, and how can Brahman be the destination based on Tattvamasi? Tattvamasi. So Param Brahman is the destination of everyone. Jnani as also Ajnani. Now let us see the word analysis of the sutra. Karyam Badarihi Asya Gati Upapattehe. Badarihi, sage Badari, he declares that Karyam, the word Brahman of Chandogya Upanishad, referring to Hiranyagarbha. Asya Gatihi Upapattehe. Because it is logical to give this Hiranyagarbha as the destination Brahmaloka. This is the word meaning. Now let us see the significance of the words briefly. Karyam here refers to Hiranyagarbha. Generally, Param Brahman, as I told, is called Karanam Brahma. Hiranyagarbha is Karyam Brahma, cause and effect. And the word Badari indicates the teaching of sage Badari. Asya refers to Hiranyagarbha. He alone can have the status of destination, not Param Brahma. He can alone logically possess the status of being the destination of Upasaka's travel. Careful. Or Upasaka's travel. Only finite thing can be reached by travel. So, finite thing, Hiranyagarbha is also a finite thing. Param Brahman is infinite. Gati here refers to this destination, the status of that. Upapattihi means logically of destination status, Upapattihi. And because of this reason also, the Chandogya Upanishad mantra 4, the 4th chapter, 15th section, 5th mantra that we read, that is correct because of this reason. That is what is again justified here. So we will do the next sutra in the next class, that is tomorrow. Yo Vedadau Swara Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtitaha Tasya Prakatilinasya Parasamaheshwaraha Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vivasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamstu. Does the Upasaka acquire a physical body in Brahmaloka? Yeah, he gets a Brahmaloka, he gets a body. Yes. He has got all the Golakams and all the. I said the eyes now see, that means what? He got the body. Right? After going there, the eyes slowly open up and he has to sit in Brahmaji's class to learn Vedanta, if he wants to get Jnanam. So he needs the body. Right? So he gets the body. Right. It's another birth for him. Birth in Brahmaloka. You can see your message recording. I don't know what it is. All right, that is clear, right? So he gets a body there in Brahmaloka. He lives there for a long time. Goes to class every day without getting bored. All that he does. Anything else?
The same thing applies for heaven also, right? If somebody goes to heaven,
Every loka.
every loka,
Whichever loka you go, you have a body in that
body.
loka. Because you have to conduct the locomotion to exhaust your prarabdha in that place. For that, you need a tenement. That is your body. Without your body, you cannot experience your punya papa karma's effects. So you need a body, and in any loka you go, you have a body.
Is it like human body, or is it like an animal body, or anything like what?
Depends on what birth you got, what you have got in store in your stock. If your next prarabdha is going to be a human body, you got it. A body of a devata, you got it. If it is a body of an insect, you got it. It could be anything.
Namaskaram. The jiva acquires a body as soon as it departs the body. It gets a body right here, and with that body only it travels. Will that be the body it has in, it will acquire again? Will that be the body in Brahmaloka?
Yeah, that body, that is the gross subtle body. See, I made this clear when I explained this. It is not the subtle body. Subtle body is Sukshma Sharira. But this is gross body, Sthula Sharira only, but very subtle to see. It is so minute, you cannot see it. So that is created right at that time. A person, when he dies, right at that time itself, it is created. And then that only travels. And when it goes to Brahmaloka, it's big. The small, minute thing starts to grow, becomes big. And as it travels in all these stages, of course, it is unconscious, doesn't know anything. And once it reaches the destination, because he's being transported by so many other entities, all these 14 devatas and all we just talked. And after he goes to Brahmaloka, there he takes birth. And that body, which is the minute body, gross body, that develops to be a big body.
What is the time factor? Is it like human days, or or some other kind of a time factor?
It says instantaneous sometimes. It can, we never know. It can be instant. Because this is the generation of that subtle, the gross subtle body is instantaneous. And from that transportation, of course, there are lightning speeds. It is not like our Tesla car speed. It can be lightning speeds. You don't know. These are all what scriptures say. We have no way to verify them. And we can only infer certain things based on other facts, but not directly. But when Shruti says this much, which are also logical, because we we have to understand we should not be hesitant to own up our limitation to understand some of these things. Because the minutest gross body, how with the microscope, how big, how minute you can see. They give all kinds of dimensions because it is so minute. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That's what it said. It is subtler than the subtlest atom. And also bigger than the biggest thing you can think of. So that means what? You are already limited now. Whatever you think is subtle, it is subtler than that. So whatever device you may have to find out the subtlest thing, it is subtler than that. How can you find it? We should be willing to accept it. That's it.
We do other subtle bodies? Other subtle bodies?
Other subtle body?
Others, do we have a connection with the other subtle bodies?
Other subtle gross bodies or subtle bodies?
Other subtle bodies, just like us, when we go there.
Yeah, you'll have fellow students. Yeah, they are going to say, don't ask all these questions.
Like me.
There are also, everywhere all these things continue because everything is now finite.
Mhm.
When you go to any finite loka, this entire thing continues. Only different levels. You have got very good subtle body, very subtle body, subtler the subtle body, then more sharp is the intellect, more sharp is the awareness, more sharp are your experiences. Because it is like, the 2020 vision is we think is the best vision, right? No, and then it is much finer than that. They can even see through people, see through objects. That is the extent of subtlety they can have. We
When
know
we have
2020.
retrogress projection of where we came from, we have connection between this loka and that loka.
That is not available to them, because that is the primary difference between the Lord who takes an avatar and people like us. For example, Rama Avatara took place much before Krishna Avatara. But during Krishna Avatara, Lord Krishna can remember his role as Rama in Rama Avatara. That is possible for Avatar Purushas, because they are directly the Chaitanyam taking a physical form driven by Maya for Loka Sangraha. But us, our other birth is, next birth is determined by what? Not by my will, but by my karma param. Right? By my prarabdha. For Lord, there is no prarabdha. So it is by his will, he assumes another body. But here I am helpless. What body I got today? My karma decided it. Neither God nor me. My karma decided it. Whatever karma fructified at that point in time, that became prarabdha, that I took this body. I have no choice. But Lord has.
Why don't we have control over our own destination, where we are going, what we do, what we can do?
You can do satkarmas. That's all you should do. Keep doing satkarmas, you will go to satlokas. That is all. You can control your destiny. It is not a fatalistic life, but follow the dharma. See, that is why when your will is aligned with divine will, as given in our scriptures by Dharma Shastra, then you are fine. Because we always have disconnect between our will and divine will. That means we are living from the path of dharma. Then we have to go through all this.
Thanks.
Right? So this is very logical. Only thing is it's logical, but we are not able to practice it. That is a problem. When we are aligned with divine will, means dharma, that's it. Once you are in dharmic path, you will not do mistakes. And at the same time, you will understand life. Because our own karmas are responsible for what we are today, what we will be tomorrow also. But the karma, what we do, it's in our hand. The effect only, it's not in our hand, but what we do is in our hand. Isn't it? All right. Okay, so we will again reassemble tomorrow. And then let's go through some more sutras. So I will sign off now. Shubharatri.